Okay, mono red burn. Let's so I don't think mono red wildfires is where it's at, but let's try good old fashioned wildfire burn. Saw some content online. Supposedly mono red is still viable. I don't see it at all, so I kind of assumed it wasn't. But or I should say Boros. But when I'm seeing the Boros burn list, it seems like they literally only play white for Boros Charm, at least in the main deck. I have never been a big believer that we need to be taking a lot of extra damage off our mana base just to play Boros Charm. Boros Charm is a great card and all, but like it's not worth splashing an entire other color for. Now we end up actually splashing white out of the sideboard anyway, so you might as well say we might as well play it main deck. But I don't see it that way at all. We never have to worry about whether we take extra damage from a Sacred Foundry. We never have to worry about getting Blood Mooned. Like, Blood Moon does literal nothing. Well, I guess it shuts off our Barbarian Ring. But, yeah, yeah, say what you want. I mean, we could obviously play just a couple Sacred Foundries in the main deck to free up more sideboard slots. But, Burn's a pretty basic deck anyway. I don't know that I don't know what on earth we would even play in the last two slots if we, and obviously we have one Elegant Parlor. Maybe this should just be a Sacred Foundry, but or maybe we just bring both of these into the main because it is kind of nice to be able to filter our draws. There's an argument to be made. Maybe we just play these in the main, but I think this is yeah. Basically, so here's the idea. These cards would be in Boros burn anyway. Boltwave, Lave Spike. Lightning Spike would be a nice, cool card. Lightning Bolt. Rift Bolt and Skewer. Those are pretty much what you would expect. Also, Goblin Guide Swiftspear, pretty normal. But here's what we do. We're also playing Obosh. Now, we could, for example, play Searing. We could play Searing Blaze instead of Light Up the Stage. I'm not so sure that that's where it's at. I'm not necessarily seeing a lot of must-answer creatures necessarily, although that is a possibility. It is possible maybe we want two paths and then we can play four Searing Blazes. That is a possibility. Now I think about it. I'm also just thinking like we could continue just being able to support Obosh if we play Firebolt. Although Firebolt's way clunkier, and as far as like using the last the last two damage on the other side, plus it's 2 instead of 3. Yeah, it's possible that we want four Searing Blazes, but out of the sideboard at least. But I mean, hear me out. In the main deck, Light Up the Stage. This card is potentially worth 2 burn spells, and for only 1 mana. I think one of the reasons this card doesn't get played in Boros is because it really rewards you for having like basically all 1-drops. You can play out your hand pretty easily. And then Seal Fire seems clunky, but hear me out. It helps with getting Spectacle or whatever it's called. Yeah, it helps with enabling Spectacle, and I'm not sure how often this will come up, but if this card is sitting around, it makes Obosh turn this into a 4 damage spell, assuming that Obosh can survive. Like if they're tapped out and we drop Obosh and we got like 2 of these in play, then these can kind of function like a 1-mana Boros Charm. So there's that. But more or less it's just this can deal with cheap stuff for just 1 mana. It's very efficient, helps turn on Skewer the Critics and light up the stage. Barbarian Ring just because we need stuff, and the fetches help enable Threshold and help support a splash out of the sideboard. So yeah, I think if there was any change, maybe it's worth losing Obosh just to play Searing Blaze instead of Sealfire, because as cool as Sealfire is, I have to imagine once we play Searing Blaze though, suddenly Light Up the Stage is a little less good too, because it's not always going to have a good target, but it still might be worthwhile. Could play Skullcrack main too, because that's a darn good card. I don't know though. There's something to be said. There's something I like about this. Oh yeah, who can forget Reinforced Ronin? Honestly, I think Boros Burn should be playing this anyway. It's not as good as Goblin Guy, but it's actually closer than you might think. Because, just think about it this way. And anytime this connects, it's basically just like free damage. If you're not confident you can connect, then you can always just cycle it too. So you can just, be one card closer to drawing the last burn spell you need to close out the game. There's really not many complaints I actually have. This card is a repeated permanent source of damage. You have to keep paying an extra mana, but it also does dodge sorcery speed removal, which is pretty good. And it's just the ability to cycle it is just like, imagine if Goblin Guide had cycling. That'd just be so great. Like, honestly, if all the creatures had cycling, like, burn would be kind of insane in a way, because hitting a creature instead of the last burn spell you need to win is one of the most common ways you lose with burn. And while we can't cycle our Goblin Guide or our Swiftspear, we can cycle our Reinforced Ronin. So, all right, with that, let's. Oh yeah, and out of the sideboard, it's been like a million years since I've ever seen a pro red creature, which almost always gets played in the burn decks anyway. Core Firewalker. That being said, Path seems like, since we have a lot of there's a lot of high toughness creatures. If we really want to play the game of clearing the path, it seems nice. This deals with pro red, and it deals with higher toughness creatures, and it exiles. So potentially just deals with a lot of stuff that otherwise we wouldn't be able to. We got the white splash, wear tear. I'm very close to just playing green, so this can be destructive revelry, so we don't have to actually have to give up, casting a burn spell effectively while we're dealing with an artifact enchantment. However, it is cool that wear tear lets us keep Obosh. We don't have to lose access to Obosh, and yeah. Oh yeah, and one really nice thing that actually does come up is we can cast wear even if we don't have white. We only need white for tear, and that does come up because yeah, I mean, with only essentially 10 white sources, it's not necessarily 100% a given that I'm going to see these. I don't think we want to cut any more lands to make room for more. So, maybe this just is what it is. But yeah, I like Wear Tear. I think it's good. And Screaming Nemesis, I think this is the best way to deal with anti-life gain. Ideally, this is another nice thing about Seal of Fire, is that we can play Screaming Nemesis on turn 3. And if they're tapped out after this connects, and this is a card that is not very profitably blocked, if you know what I mean. But after this probably pretty much connects most likely, then we Seal of Fire it, deal 2 extra damage, and then they can't gain life for the rest of the game. So yeah, and we get to keep it, where that wouldn't be the case with Lightning Bolting our own thing. Anyway, let's get to the games. All right, let's go. Obosh Burn. Okay. Seems like a very classic burn-like hand. So let's go. Keep. Okay. Do this. Okay. Oh, Merfolk. Or it might be that other deck. I do kind of wonder if this is our old buddy, old pal Merfolk. It's not as efficient, but I think I'll play Seal Fire just because you just never know if they've got some kind of trick up their sleeve. Okay, it's this deck. If I'm not mistaken, this deck I believe plays Omnath, so we gotta watch out for that. Oof, ouch. Wailing Oracle, okay, that's fine. Okay. Goblin Guide already dealt 4 damage, though. Possible we don't really need it much anymore. Yeah, let's just see if we draw a land. Flare of Denial, okay. Well, that clears the path at least for that. Let's see if we can draw another land. We did. Or maximize damage here. Gonna crack the Verdant. Okay, they do. Collateral to the bottom. Force a negation. And we technically have lethal in our hand. Birthing Ritual. Oh, well, that's this is one. Damn it, man! I clicked off. Oh, I was worried they were gonna grab Omnath. Okay. But in all seriousness, though, I clicked off. I mean, I clicked, but it just didn't register in time, I guess. Okay, let's do this. Subtlety, okay. Bottom probably. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. Is this a match for Screaming Nemesis? Yes or no? On the one hand, man, if I actually get Screaming Nemesis off, but on the other hand, this really could slow things down. I know they've got Omnath. I just know it. It's such a tough call, though, because all these cards, including Seal of Fire, as we saw, I don't know, let's run it back. I'm still learning the deck. The problem with Screaming Nemesis, actually, is it can still just get countered. Flare of Denial and whatnot. For that reason, I think we are probably best suited to just trying to slip in the victory quick. I do think it counted a lot that we were super efficient with like all these 1-drops. Out of all these cards, the only card that seems a little underpowered is Seal of Fire, but we'll see. It can be good for just dealing with dinky creatures. Also, if we store it long enough to where Obosh comes online, it could deal 4 damage for 1 mana, essentially. Or an Oculus, that's scary. Okay, that's a little less scary, at least as of the moment. It can become scary very quickly. I think we have to play Seal of Fire to try to... Let's attack first. Seal of Fire can intercept the they play if they play what I think they're gonna play, which is I'm surprised they didn't hit Seal of Fire, because if they're gonna play they sure are taking quite a few turns off from this. It's Lave Spike. Let's light up the stage. We could Lightning Bolt, or we could Skewer. We'll just hold up Lightning Bolt. Alright, I'll take it. Okay. I thought I sucked at Obosh. Okay, good, I did. Well, this hand is a bit of a test, but I like it because I might be able to light up the stage to draw extra. Okay, let's see what they take. It's not necessarily a given that they'll take light up the stage. They might take, if they're light on creature removal, they might take Swiftspear. Okay, yeah. Okay, so now I think the play is pretty clear. Oops. Suspend Rift Bolt. They shocked. It's a bit shocking to shock against a burn deck, but obviously they're probably going to counter the light up the stage. Or they'll just counter the Rift Bolt if they really want to next level me. Okay. Counterspell. Okay, fine. Well, I'll Skewer since I've got Spectacle anyway. If they crack one more fetch, I've got lethal. Okay, well at least they didn't draw or advance their game plan or anything. In case they draw some weird way to gain life. Okay, fine. Wait a minute. Yeah, I see very little reason to hold off. I was going to be clever, but let's just... And say what you want about Obosh, but in this situation, having another card to put into my hand, I mean, it's not terrible. Ooh, Quantum Riddler. Cameo. Okay. Guess this is slightly more efficient. I don't know. That could have been a mistake, but let's see. Interesting. They must have a counterspell or something, because otherwise, why not? Okay. Triple counterspell. Not bad. Okay. Okay. If only I don't draw Seal of Fire. That would be very disappointing, to say the least. Fourth counterspell. Force Negation. Okay. Oy vey. Hopefully, the only removal spell they have is Fatal Push, which can't hit this, but I've got a feeling they're gonna have a power word kill or something. Who knows? Oh, I just died a Quantum Riddler anyway, I guess. Alright, well, close. Path for Riddler. Didn't seem like that was necessary. It was a very odd game. Kind of a triple counterspell early on definitely helped them. But Screaming Nemesis. Screaming Nemesis could be good, actually. It could be. What would I take out? Riftbolt. Or Seal of Fire. Could be Seal of Fire. Yeah, I'm gonna take out Seal of Fire for Screaming Nemesis. Seems like the safest bet. I could try to next level with Pathing, but at a certain point, I just dilute the deck too much, I think. Well, the Path on Quantum Riddler is pretty strong. I think I'll just accept, though, that if the game goes late like that, probably we just lose. Ugh. Okay. Bam. Okay. Sure, they got Fatal Push, but should have actually Boltweaved first. Sorry. They have to. I suppose in a way I could be setting them up for more damage next turn, because presumably they would have hit the Swiftspear. I don't know. We'll see. This is quite a bit of damage, I will say. Okay, they didn't have Cling to Dust. That's good. Cameo. Not yet. just gets blocked by Tamiyo if we attack. Well, they cannot fetch anymore unless they draw a Cling to Dust. Their fetches are effectively turned off. Okay, they let's see. Hopefully this overwhelms them, but I mean, I'll go for the win rather than just cycling Reinforced Ronin. It is possible cycling Reinforced Ronin was just better, but anyway. We got the third Fatal Push. Oh, okay. Yeah, just trying to go for the win just always seems where it's at. It actually kind of seemed like Screaming Nemesis could be pretty good in that situation, so I'm gonna keep it this way. Screaming Nemesis almost seems main deckable. It just seems a little too slow though for main decking. Better to Seal Fire though, could be. I mean, the fact that Screaming Nemesis can't effectively be blocked is pretty something. I mean, it's a little risky hand, but I'll keep. I don't like these two Screaming Nemesis though. Nemesi. Okay, I was a little more worried about a Tamiyo because it's such a good blocker. Archive Trap, what? Okay. Well, Fatal Push is a good one. I'm not going to Lightning Bolt. It's just Rift Bolt is just much better. Obviously, I'm going to go for the basic. I think it was worth just one more damage. Okay. I mean, let's try this first. I'm telling you, Light Up the Stage is a good card. If they counter it, that just shows that it's a powerful card. Like, don't think of it like in terms of oh, it should have been Boros Charm because they countered it. No, they would have countered Boros Charm, but I had to spend 1 mana on Light Up the Stage where I would have paid 2 for Boros Charm, so I'm telling you. It's also possible that it's a red herring and they shouldn't counter it, but I think they should, and I think that's telling. I think Light Up the Stage is a monster good card. My humble bumble opinion. Hard cast a Force Negation? Kind of looking like. Or Counterspell, okay. I'm going to force this one. They spend so much resources to fight this stuff, and then the Swiftspear just gets in there. It is notable if these were Seal of Fires, we would have lethal. Ugh. But I think Screaming Nemesis, I'm going to say true name. Okay, they're going to triple block. Yeah, I guess why not? Well, if they got a counter, they got a counter, but this way this lives. Hahaha. Yeah, somehow I had a feeling that first game was a fluke. Okay. Obosh, I choose you. Alright. And in regards to last game, one of the reasons we always will, one of the reasons I think Burn is ostensibly kind of a combo deck. Oh, man. And if people are playing Mill, we don't expose ourselves to Archive Trap this early. I'm going to say no. It's so close, though, because it also minimizes the chances that... Like, treating this as a dead card is not ideal, but on the other hand, the only card I'm truly terrified in this matchup is Archive Trap, because this is the only card that really enables them to outrace us. Okay. Huh. There's double Archive, and there's Archive Trap. Maybe I should have played first and then played this, because then maybe I would have wanted to. Okay. Don't like that for next turn. I might just not play the Bloodstained More. Okay, unfortunately I don't have the win. I would have had the win if they wouldn't have blocked, but alas. I got a Crypt Incursion for a lot, so be it. I can hit my Barbarian Ring too. I think they got a Crypt Incursion though. But how many creatures are there really in here? Not that many. Just one. They gain 6 life. So they gain 2. No, okay, they're going to gain a lot of life too. So they gain 3. They gain 6. They gain 9. Gain 9 life, looks like, if I counted correctly. I'd do it if I were them. Go up to 15. They could still die, though. They're doing admirably, though, I gotta say. They are... Yeah. Oh, I had another creature in there I didn't even see. You know, I might as well play this, because they've got you know what, anyway. Field of Ruin. I could also just crack it. And then Field of Ruin. Let's skewer If they field my my Barbarian Ring, I crack it. If they field my Wooded Foothills, I crack that. Okay, let's do this here. Hopefully they don't have another one. So, I think I should have just played, I should have just cracked my fetch early on. They didn't have their main deck Crypt Incursion, though. That was a weird game. I kind of like being able to kill their crabs. Let's get Screaming Nemesis in here. And I do think Earthbolt is better in this matchup. Alrighty. I think I'm going to use Seal to kill it. It's just a very efficient way to deal with that. Okay. Okay, they got a lot of crabs. We've got another seal. Alright, bam. And I think I'm gonna ring the Hedron crab. Okay. Yeah, let's just do this. They didn't mill us that badly yet. Let's just do this now. Hopefully I don't have Archive Trap. Well, Screaming Nemesis for the win. Skewer the Critics. Hopefully they don't have Force and Negation. Okay, good. Well, they put up a surprisingly good fight. They do have some interaction and all that. This has got to be one of our better matchups. Big question, do we kill the crabs or not? We so far haven't seen Ruin Crab. One of the things is being able to clear the crabs seems potentially good. Maybe we'll take that out, Boltwave. Well, let's just run this back. Still possible Seal Fire's too cute, but... Alright, well, hand does things. Man, if we like beat Quantum Riddles, but we can't beat Mill, what does that say? We definitely made a mistake last game though by not just playing this out. Why would they must have another Fatal Push. There's no other explanation. Ooh, Tasha's Hideous Laughter, that's hideous. And that's another reason to keep Riftbolt in, actually, I didn't even think about. Because that's gonna hit like 40 cards, that's crazy. And how bad is the Tasha gonna be? Oh, one drops in my deck. Oh, okay. I'm gonna wait till next turn, I guess. I really should have played Riftbolt. I totally forgot about Tasha. They might want us prioritize though. Okay. I don't like Field Around. I do technically have lethal even if they mill me out. I can... Oh no, but because they have Field Around though. Ouch. Oh, that wasn't as bad as I thought. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. Let's go. I think we know better than to keep this hand. Okay. And we'll keep this hand. Yes, and I think clearly Seal Fire is almost cuttable here. But Reinforced Ronin, man, this card's the real deal. It's a discount Goblin Guide, but any card that even somewhat approximates Goblin Guide is pretty good in my book. He says it's more inefficient here, but on the other hand, they didn't also put a land to their hand. This also can't get hit by sorcery speed removal. Ooh, Ocelot Pride. Or as we like to call it, the kitty. Then we bolt that and then Ronin. I don't want them gaining life off of kitty. Okay, more life gain. Ephemerate. Okay. Are they gonna like path me or something? Good thing I got Bolt for their inevitable, you know what. Okay. If the status quo goes on, maybe I can out Obosh them. Okay, as long as they don't draw too many creatures. So I'm actually going to save this because I might need Obosh to help power it up. Alright, the kitty. Smart mother of machines. Alright. At least we don't necessarily play like that many triggered abilities or anything. Oh, they're getting in 2 life. That's nasty. Oh man, that's nasty. Let's cycle this. Okay. 7 cards. We have to get rid of Guide of Souls. There's just no other way. It's not like this card gets any better. Might as well just do this. I guess it does get better because if we drew like Light Up the Stage. All right. Well, they seem to have, yeah. Hopefully, Screaming Nemesis gets the job done here. Let me think here. Maybe we just take out Boltwave and we take out Lave Spike and we bring in Path to Exile plus. Man, no, but how much do we want to dilute the deck? I think we want to dilute it a good amount. Let's bolt in favor of this one. Hit their enchantment. I don't know. We just took out a lot of points of burn spells, but both Sacred Foundry. Yes, they'll know something's up, but they'd be a fool not to suspect they'd bring in some type of enchantment hate anyway. And Kitty. I don't like Kitty gaining life, but I like light up the stage. But Kitty doesn't only gain life, it also, alright. Yeah, we're just going to play a much more defensive-oriented stratagem. Alright, okay. Elegant Parlor. I kind of like this because it deals with the guide. Yeah, I mean they'll gain some life off of Guide of Souls presumably, but I can't not take this opportunity to Nemesis. Guide of Souls. Ooh, that's a lot of life. So let's think about this. We might want to actually torch our own Screaming Nemesis. I think we're going to attack though. They're obviously not going to block. If they do, that's a huge oversight on their part. Okay. What this enables us to do then is to light up the stage. Doesn't do it that way. I ideally want Seal of Fire so I don't actually have to lose my Nemesis. Okay. Doesn't look like we're going to have that luxury. I don't have to play it this turn. I'm going to zap my Nemesis, that's for sure. I want a backup blocker though, so Kitty doesn't. You know, maybe it's okay actually. Maybe we'll just do this. We want to hold this up in case they play the enchantment. And for that, Solitude. She enters my sister as a 2 artifact creature and her enchantment cards. My level also hand. Let's do this right now. Should I? I can hit this with Wear Tear. I kind of want to put Obosh into my hand. I kind of want to, so I kind of will. I'm probably going to Wear Tear that. Hopefully they go all in on this thing. Okay, we want Obosh. Take a lot of damage though. Do we even survive? Because we take 3 damage in the sky. We can block 2. Yeah, Seal of Fire with Screaming Nemesis is actually one of the main points of even playing Screaming Nemesis. Alright, I think, because they can just make these creatures stuff flying. I have to imagine if this deck becomes okay. Match 5. All right, first time we have no land. Disappointing. Mulligan. Oof. Very reluctant keep. So far, like, it is worth noting that Obosh does actually, like, kind of in theory play a role. And Screaming Nemesis, like, that was close to making that game, like, actually within distance. I think if we had Seal of Fire instead, maybe Path to Exile was a bridge too far. We should not have brought that in. That should have been Riftbolt. I wonder if Wear Tear was overkill too, but maybe Wear Tear is too once we have Nemesis deal with the life gain. Okay. Not sure what this is. Spellpiercer, okay. Well, always a nice use of mana in that way. I'm guessing that this is the Domain Zoo. Okay, let's spend this. Blades Titan of Nature's Wrath. Actually, Boros Energy playing just way too much incidental life gain is kind of a big problem. And Fleege decks could too. Okay, that's not Fleege. So the problem is this is a hard counter to my Rift Bolt here. I will have to just do this. If I were them, I would seriously think about countering that because it's very rare. That, oh, I guess we'd have to anyway because it's a fairy, so it wasn't necessarily signaling anything. But if they didn't have Teferi, that would have been definitely signaling Spectacle. Oh. Just trying to be efficient. If they got another Teferi, yeah, they'll probably just sack it. Yep, kind of saw that coming from a mile away. So I probably should have played that first, but whatever. Alright, well, technically we got lethal if we can land Obosh. And it can survive removal spell. Do we want to play Ronin? I don't think so. I have to imagine they got removal. I mean, they're doing something with their hand. All these cards in their hand can't be like all literal duds. I'll wait one more turn. I'm going to play around Spellpiercer. Maybe this is being too cute, but this is the attack we're deciding on. They're not targeting the Sealfire, okay. Lave Spike. Another Aether Spike. Dang it. Alright, well, I'm going to play around another Aether Spike / whatever. I went out of 3. Okay, this one goes, okay. Okay. Actual factual counterspell? Force negation, okay. It's just good value to prevent them from drawing a card, turning off future fetches. It's a creativity deck. Well, unfortunately, Force Negation is in here. And they got Polymorph. I don't think I can win once they start swinging with Atraxa. Okay, I almost wonder if we want to path the Atraxa. I think any other threat they have, for the most part, is not that dangerous. Here is what I think. Actually, Seal of Fire is great against the those little tokens. Maybe we just take out Seal of Fire for True Name, though. No, actually, you know what we take out for True Name? We take out Riftbolt. Riftbolt is too clunky with Teferi. Yeah, we don't need to reach for Path. I don't think. Okay. Okay. I don't think I can. This is just, there's too much air. Oh, I really wish there was a creature in here, but alas. I actually like Seal because it also helps with True Name. Seal is not just strictly inferior, it's really not. What's going on here? Okay. I'm gonna wait to light up the stage. Okay, let's see if Nemesis gets there. They didn't have spell, whatever it's called. Leyline Binding. Okay. Can't gain life for the rest of the game. There's worse situations we could be in. Okay, they were afraid of me double pumping. I'm afraid of Spell Pierce. Ouch. Lave Spike, okay. Pay 3, can't. But I can do this. Might as well play Seal of Fire. I'm pretty close to threshold too, which is really good. Okay, we don't play around Aether Drift, we do play around Spell Pierce. Okay. That's fine. Okay, fine. Nothing I can do about that. Alright, that's not too bad because without the life gain, although what's really frustrating is them getting a lot of extra. Maybe we can play around this stuff. I'm gonna turn 2 clock because of that stupid dwarf token. Problem with Obosh is that now you know what? That was a mistake because what I actually think I needed to do. There's kind of no good outs actually, truth be told. I have to, as cheesy as it is, I have to hit that stupid dwarf token. Because this gets countered by Mystical Dispute. At least I assume they have Mystical Dispute. Alright, Postly, what a disappointing drop off. But to be fair, I don't think the mono white deck is super well set up to deal with creativity. That other deck, there was some other deck. What was that again? Oh yeah, that other deck I think our mono white deck beats for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But it's the yeah, that creativity honestly feels like we definitely had a shot there. It's hard to play around their attacks and counter spells. Oh no, also with like our hands. Like we didn't have any early creatures, and we had to mulligan twice, I think, and our hands didn't really have much going for them. But other than that, yeah, and I just yeah, they ended up obviously taking the last game because I misplayed. Apparently they did take Preypiercer. I should have checked the log. And I might have been able to win if I would have end of turn hit the Barbarian Ring, and then played around Preypiercer the next turn. But anyway, yep. Thanks to the patrons. Costi, Evanlina, Toby Kremer, Alex Korthauer, Big Memu, Adrian King, Erwin Lopez, Michael Patton. Yep, thank you.